everybody. Welcome back to the Dragon's Tome. Um, we're going to be doing 161. And if you're new here, what we've done is we've started at 1, and we're going to go as far as humanly possible.
I like how we're not
Going in
promising to the end.
Yeah, we're not promising to the end. Humanly possible to go in chronological order and read through and pick a couple articles and discuss. Yeah, and I want you to put this one on 1.5 speed because I want to get out of here, so it'll go faster that way. Please and thank you.
2 speed.
Um,
2 speed
and
or die.
What?
Double speed or die. That's what I say.
Double speed or die?
I don't even
times.
know what that means.
2x.
Mm.
You gotta go twice as fast.
Speaking
We
of
sound
dying,
like we seem like chipmunks.
speaking of dying,
Oh, is one of us dying?
someone had the audacity to come into our comments and say, "I'm not dead." Why do they think I'm dead? Listen, you are in the in memoriam. We played Sarah McLaughlin. It's over. I sent your widow a corsage. It's done. Get back in the pine box. The audacity of something.
He knows. No, we explained. Everyone's canonically dead
And
until proven otherwise.
yeah,
And for
and I'm
Jack,
still
they're,
seeing
even when
comments.
they're proven otherwise, they're still dead.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, we have the memorial ice skating rink dedicated to him. So now what do we do?
Yeah, we can't undedicate a rink, right? Can we?
No, but
It's like that.
still-
That's
dedications. I guess don't have to really be for dead people. I mean, that's why hospitals have names, right?
but he
Yeah,
didn't
I
pay us, so.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Sarah,
Yeah, anyways,
Sarah McLaughlin
let's-
Foundation paid for it.
Let's focus up a bit. No comments in the comment section. Don't come back and claim you're not dead. What was the first one?
Comment to say hi to Jack.
don't mention
Oh.
Jack's name. Keep Jack's name out of your mouth.
That's right. Okay. The first one was let's speed this up because I want to get out of here. I
Oh,
don't
yeah,
want
that's
any no bits,
No banter.
no comedy routines.
Shave and a haircut.
Get the job done. Because I want to watch this new show Rob turned me on to Chinatown something or other.
Interior Chinatown. It's a very good show.
Yeah, it's the first thing Tycho
the bee's
Waititi's
knees.
had his name attached to hasn't been hot garbage water for the last 5 years. So it's actually pretty good. So let's just get into this. Trim the fat on this one, guys. Let's get to it. Okay. Are you ready to record, Rob?
Oh, yeah. I'll start right now. Clack.
Okay. 161 Dragon Magazine. Look at this cover. It's got everything you want in a magazine called Dragon. It's got the
It's got a dragon.
it's got the
Titular dragon.
the type of dragon that we all know and love. There's back legs back there, so it is a dragon. We have the thief and little the hobbit there with his little calloused feet. We have an elf doing a high dive with a bag full of mist.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure. Was that treasure that got burnt up, and now she's just holding what's left of the
Yeah, I
bag?
think it got flamed. Yeah, that makes sense. That's smoke.
Oh, I thought it was some magical item that perhaps she was going to use to stop her descent into what I think might be a volcano.
Or is it just a smoldering bag of something, and she's hoping that she can get it down there before it catches on fire?
It looks
'Cause now I
ragged
look
on
at
the
it,
edges.
it looks full.
It looks ragged though at the ends there. It looks like
Yeah,
it got.
so-
It's got
Or maybe
burned.
it's it just ignited.
What are those? Is that more dragons in the background or just like bats or something? Bat.
A little from column A, a little from column B.
Dog.
This is it's called Butch and Sundance: The Early Years by Jim Holloway. That's the name of this.
Oh, I get it, because they jumped off the cliff to
Spoilers.
escape the Mexican dragon.
Spoilers.
I've spoilers.
Oh God! If you haven't seen much of
Never seen it.
Yeah, and speaking of Jim Holloway, the R.I.P. I'm used to his black and white, like his kind of the whimsy, more sketches you'll see in Dragon Magazine, and those are always, always good quality. I wasn't aware or didn't know that he did full paintings like this, and I was like, come on, leave some talent for someone else. Yeah,
It's a good
once you
painting, though.
know who did it, you can look at the facial features of the Hobbit and the elf, and you go, "Oh, that's Holloway all the way." But yeah,
Good stuff. But I
so
think those
anyone,
are bats. I'm looking at it, and I think they're bats.
Oh, R.I.P. He has passed away, actually. So.
Oh, all right.
see,
True
haven't been
RP.
wrong yet.
Oh, he did the cover of Mech Warrior from BattleTech too.
Oh.
He 2020 he died. So.
No,
Yeah. I didn't know. I wasn't aware. He did my very first issues cover too. So. Good times, Jim Holloway.
good stuff. Okay, so for a September edition, pretty reasonable cover, and it kind of lets you know what's doing on there. A little segment never hurts. Let's get into it. So traditionally, we start with each one of us doing 2 articles, and I choose one or the t'other to start, as I am in the driver's seat. And I think canonically, if you're wearing red, you go first. No one's wearing red, so I'm gonna. Yeah, no,
I'm
Rob,
wearing
come on.
skull on skull.
He's skull on skull violence. It's skulls killing skulls.
Oh, Pat does have red. He's proven his red.
Oh, okay.
His
Well,
mustache. His mustachio.
then
Mustachio.
young Master Chopper, would you please give us your first article?
Okay. Let's go to page 12.
Oh, this was one of mine.
Inside information. This is different ways. This article is different ways to get your party to investigate rumors or information other than just going to your local inn or bar. There just wasn't a super deep article, but it just did bring some things in, because I will say I was one to just always do the bar innkeep rumor thing. But this one adds different things. One of the ones I liked was the bard. It never really occurred to me to use a bard to pass out the information or have someone hunt a bard down into the to either start or end or get your rumors, get your campaign started like that. I also didn't use local priests either. That's also a fairly good one too.
I think they're all good ones.
My favorite was the sage, because this was one of my articles as well. So
because sage is you can burn it and it cleanses your area.
yes, you can
Cleanses
smudge
your
away
aura.
the evil spirits. No, he starts by saying at the time he was talking about the wealth of information that you have now, and these guys were like the databases of the day, and I was like, yeah, I guess so.
They
They
were
catch
the
all.
worldwide. They were the Googles of the time.
They were the Googles. Yeah. Also, nobility is funny because he's like, yeah, they wouldn't really care about the commoners doing, but if you want court intrigue or any of that, it's pretty good. But
Yeah, court, that was a good one too. Is maybe getting someone wrapped up in some court intrigue would be kind of funny.
yeah, there was a lot of good ones. And then I like how he ends with magic, where he's just like, yeah, you can always use a spell, but you gotta, if you want it exciting, you have to make sure whatever you want to find is magically protected. Otherwise, 2 seconds a divining spell would just ruin the whole thing. So when there's a magical realm, you have to make sure you don't ruin it with magic. But yeah, otherwise pretty good. I like the idea of libraries too, because we always think of libraries like our libraries, but back in medieval times, a library had like 30 books in it, and that was like, ooh. So it's like, no, you're thinking of big libraries. That's different.
A high fantasy library as opposed to what would possibly be a real world.
Yes.
Yeah, sort of like
My
Rob
study.
set it back there.
Yep, my master's study. This is my library. I was a very rich man. Yeah. Fun little article. It was all of our articles, so it must have been pretty good. By David Flynn, by the way.
Yeah.
R.P. David Flynn.
Mm-hmm.
If you do hear your name on the show, please, signs of life is always good. Comment below.
A picture of you holding today's newspaper. Maybe we'll take your name off of the skating rink. Okay, well then, Rob, what's your obviously second article?
Oh, I got lots of backups just in case.
Oh dear.
Page 23.
No, that's my other one.
It's sort of like
I
a
feel like
wand.
I feel like we're gonna overlap here.
I got lots. I could have done another one, but this one is a article to try. Like this whole magazine's a DM. At least the special features is like DM helping tips and stuff. So it's another one to help some DMs. It's pretty much saying be less specific to give mystery to the PCs who know everything, because PCs read all the books even though they're not supposed to. So it's just pretty much saying don't tell them what they're fighting. So just describe it and let their own mind describe what it is. So you could be describing orcs, but it's actually ogre magi or something like that.
I was sorry, go ahead.
No, sorry.
I will say that when I read the opening narrative, that was kind of how we played in the very beginning when in the 6th, 7th, 8th grade. You just kind of read what, oh, yeah, it's a wand that has this many charges.
Yeah.
It's this many gold. You fought these kind of creatures. I mean, and then as we evolved and I started playing with my buddy Tony, we evolved into the end narrative, which is kind of how everyone plays now, I think.
Yeah, that's the way you should be. It immerses you. That's the whole point about immersion, right? Like, if you tell them it's a +1 sword, you're like, okay. But if you say it's a really nice sword, you can tell it's got magical properties. You're like, okay.
It cuts both ways in that if you want to get to the meat and potatoes, you can say it's an item. Here you go. Here it is on paper. You know.
Yeah.
There's no barrier to entry. There's no mystery because I've got this whole big thing planned. Like the background lore, the mystery isn't this thing you just found. It's something we would like to get to soon.
Yeah.
But if you're taking the time to build up this big campaign, making people work a little for their treasure isn't the end of the world.
The treasure one's not my favorite because I do like to know what I'm using, but the other things like when you don't speak in game terms of levels or hit points and stuff, where it's like, oh, you were grievously wounded, you don't say like how many hit points you actually lost.
Yeah, or you did,
or you describe how many hit points.
That guy is bleeding profusely.
Yeah,
you just hit.
Yeah, that's what we do all the time. I don't think any of us, when we're fighting things, like your own hit points, you're like, okay, I know what my own hit points are. But when you're fighting somebody, you're like, ooh, that guy looks rough. You just did major damage to that guy. You could tell he's on death's door. Like that's how I do it, at least. Anyways,
that would be a horrible way to do it, is to announce as
he's
the
got
DM,
2 hit points left.
Yeah, okay, he's down to 5 hit points. Who goes next? And
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, when we, but then this is when I started. It was still all brand new stuff, and we didn't have
electricity.
Not even that. I mean, I don't know what the word I'm looking for. We didn't have the kind of
it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't built in. You didn't have Dragon Magazine telling you how to do things.
And then I mean, this all sort of evolved. I mean, I don't even know how, but if you watch that documentary on Amazon,
which one?
Oh God, it's the one with about Dave Arneson.
And, the Blackmore one, whatever.
The Blackmore one, yeah.
Yeah.
I think they were even slightly playing like this a little bit because he was, the way they played it was one-on-one with the game master while they all did other things, and or you would go and tell them what you did.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. That game of Blackmore they were playing before.
It was almost planned movements instead of actual playing.
So I mean, it was still very vague in what you were doing and things like that. But that I guess there were, in lieu of stats, right? You play like that. But then as soon as you start adding stats to something, then now you have a quantifiable thing, and then now you talk in that quantifiable jargon.
Which is shortcut, like Jack said, if you just want to get to the actual action. But if you want to immerse yourself in actual role playing, which ironically is how Jack actually plays his game, you don't know anything that's happening really. You don't know how many hit points or how many you're doing. You're just doing it.
And it's by far a perfect system. I wrote it when I was well, it was in the 90s, but basically when these are coming out.
Yep.
So looking back, some stuff I'd like, oof, I should have done different, but
Yeah.
But the
It
way
is what it
the way you DM it at least is more obtuse, which is
Yeah.
it leads to immersion.
I
'cause-
think by today's standards, it would infuriate people how not random it is, but
Less defined.
yes, because it's a long
See,
story.
I always
Anyways,
assumed it was super. I always assumed it was
When we
super
played it from the
defined.
Nerd Away, I enjoyed it, and it is less defined, but it didn't take away from playing the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And even nowadays, when I play RPGs in someone else's game, I have to kind of still remind myself, okay, I know this because we've been doing this now for 40 plus years, but my character that I'm playing doesn't.
Oh,
know
yeah,
that.
you
So I
always
have to
have to
keep
separate
myself
that
in that
stuff.
mindset that I gotta, even if I do know it, I still gotta play like I don't know it.
Oh yeah, for sure. But
Yeah.
Jack, I always assumed everything was defined. It's just that you just wouldn't give us the information. so don't let me see behind the curtain, Grand Wizard.
it is all defined, almost to that infuriates some people. But the illusion that it is all just off the cuff
Yeah.
in this thing where
That's the
there's
beauty
no,
of it.
Yes, which I think wouldn't work for some people, but
I think it takes a lot more work to be a GM running it that way. That's all. Like it's not so cut
Yeah.
and dry. So
yeah,
I find also for fantasy this is a lot when you're using more technology. I think it's in our mindset to know everything that's happening with technology, right? So it's more clear when you're using technology. Whereas fantasy realms, I think it's much more loosey goosey. Maybe that's just a psychological thing, but
right. You can't just the glory of a fantasy setting is you can move someone to another realm, which could be your neighbors, and you'd be like everything's strange and there's no way to know. A modern like a Shadowrun now.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to another country. Oh, well, yeah. People. have
it's
been
still
doing that
Germany. Like yeah,
yeah. We know we have television. We know
Yeah.
exactly what. There's no surprises. We can get on our phones and look. We can jack in. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, exactly that kind of stuff.
We're gonna
It's-
get
you have a
sushi
lot
at
more
the place around the
information.
corner.
Yeah, you have a lot more information at your fingertips in a modern or futuristic game. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. This was
It is. We've had a
so-
little. Again, we got to wrap this up real quick. I want to get out of here. I don't want to. I don't
is a
want
good
to
article.
Too long.
I mean, but I did write this little question to myself when I was writing my notes, and I said, "Is this article still relevant today?"
I think it's
because
so
I don't know
ingrained.
how other people play nowadays, but the people I've exposed, because I haven't played in an event like Gen Con, an RPG event, in such a long time that I don't know how people play. Do
Yeah,
they still
the
play?
generic
Do they play
person,
like the
yeah.
beginning narrative, or they play like the end narrative, where everything's kind of vague and you just kind of got to draw your own conclusions?
I think games nowadays are built more like the it's not so cut and dry in actual gameplay. Like not just D&D, I'm saying like any new design games, it's always kind of describe things, not so much cut and dry. So I think it's just in the zeitgeist now that this is just what you do. So it's almost like you say, kind of, oh well, that's quaint that people used to not do it that way, but I think it's generally. But if you play like you're straight up, like let us know. Maybe it's just the way we've always said, we're more of a narrative kind of group. We're not so cut and dry dungeon crawler, dungeon bash. We're not that kind of thing. So maybe if you're just dungeon delving, where you're like, okay, I have a +5 axe, I'm gonna destroy this goblin that is in front of me, kind of thing. That's different.
Yeah. Here's the horde. We're doing a dungeon crawl. This isn't a campaign where you need to so here you go, boom 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 boom, we roll right on the DMG. You found this or whatever it is. More of a board game situation.
Yeah.
That's fine. Okay, so I'm gonna take control here, and we're gonna go to page 73, please, for my
73
first and last article.
It's the first and last article? What the hell?
I knew for some reason that you were going to pick this article. That's why I didn't take it.
It's because of the picture. He just likes this Pillsbury picture.
Pillsbury picture?
That's who made it. That's who the artist is.
Oh, I thought you were referring to the doughy faces.
No. Just a coincidence.
Yes, obviously, when you say it's a scout, like scouting for new options. Oh, a new class that's a scout, and you look, they look like scouts. But then you think, oh, well, Kim, what are you bringing? Kim Eastland, what are you bringing that's not already just a ranger? Well, this is what they're bringing. A scout is a thief um, in all of the dexterity of climbing and doing anything that you would think a thief should be able to do, with the perceptions of barbarians and rangers kind of made into a little I don't know. There's the chocolate peanut butter situation. Um, so it's amalgamation of some of the skills that a ranger would have, and the barbarian and the thief, leaning more so on the thief when it comes to weapon restrictions, armor restrictions, but just not with all the killy bits. It's not an assassin of another name. It's not a it's a rogue that
No pickpockets, no that kind of thing.
but you climb the walls, you can
Open
disarm
locks.
traps.
Yeah.
Um, and like I said, a lot of it's about a skill that a barbarian has, where if you can't get backstabbed, a lot of detection, a lot of that kind of stuff, and it's got it leans into, despite the picture, the Pillsbury picture, it leans into underground too. So focusing on something that rangers aren't traditionally dealing with. So,
Or in cities.
yes,
Yeah. It's cool.
a scout, and
It's almost a sub-faction of thief.
Yeah.
and in fact, when you scroll down and you see how professional looking all the tables are, and how it is like a no nonsense. Here's the stats. It looks like a page from the thieves, whatever, a splat book, whatever Rob calls them. It looks like it would be in the future.
Handbook.
The scout.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was in there, but
Yeah, something similar. I have the Thieves one somewhere, but I'm not sure.
well,
I haven't looked at it in forever.
Would I have played a scout? Yeah, I might have played a scout.
Yeah, it's kind of neat.
I like.
I think I'd rather play scout than a ranger, honestly.
I'd rather play a scout than a thief. So there you go. I like rangers because rangers get pets.
So yeah,
It's true.
at first I was thinking, what are we creating here? It's unnecessary, and by the end I was like, oh yeah, I can see that.
I do like how it's yeah, it's always a lot of these articles are from first edition still. It's like second edition's quite hasn't, like, they either have a huge backlog of first edition rules, or
Yes, I noticed that too.
like not just in this, like upcoming magazines too. We have a lot of first edition stuff, so it's interesting.
Oh, see, I took it, like I said, I took it the other way. This is like,
Oh, it just says in the article, like, this is for a first edition game. It says so.
yeah, but I was, in my mind, I was thinking this is what they do in the first edition game, but I'm looking forward knowing what was coming. But
I think
you're
the
right.
Thieves book's already out though at this point. I'm pretty sure. So.
The Thieves one, maybe.
Is it?
I don't know.
I don't
for
remember
a
either.
fact. Priests and fighters are at this point, so yeah, it could be.
And Clerics, I think, it just came out too, because we talked about that, I think, last time.
Clerics came out, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's called Priests.
Oh, priests.
Oh, yeah.
Priests. So, yeah, I'd play a scout,
There you go.
and you should too. Okay, well then, I would go back to Pat, but see, Rob's already done his two. I've already done my two.
I got two more.
I've only done one.
I've only done one.
Well, I've
too.
only done one. Rob's already done one, but we've used it. So maybe if we all just did one, we could get out of here.
No, I
Like,
don't
I've been
think so.
keeping this streamlined. It's been nothing but
Jack, you can't change the rules on us now.
Exactly.
What the hell, man?
Mr. Rule.
Follow the
just
rules.
listen to one.
You're right, Patrick. What's your second article?
Let's go to page 35.
35.
The Classics campaign.
This was my other one, too.
Mr. Mark Newman here literally wrote a story about how our Nerd Away came to fruition for us.
Pretty much, yeah. It's talking about Tomb of Horrors.
Yeah, it's what that Nerd Away trip really started with me wanting to run Tomb of Horrors again.
But we played it at first edition, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But it wanted me to run it as a new, older, enlightened GM as opposed to the 7th grader with no life expectations.
And instead, he destroyed us.
So this is an article. He talks about going back again as an older person to play these modules, and even as opposed to when he also was. I think he said he was in the 8th grade when he played all these games. And just to see how it would work out as far as that, it was pretty cool in that sense. And then, but then he does also talk about not only just running them again, because they were just decent modules and they stand the test of time, but maybe even turning them into a 2nd edition campaign. So he talks about how to change them into a 2nd. As for me, it didn't really need to be a 2nd edition module. I just wanted to rerun it again because it's a long time.
But this is back in the day when you played the newest edition. That's it. There was no nostalgia for first edition yet.
And these were all tournament modules too, back in the day that he wanted to try and redo them again. The Tomb of Horrors was created for Gamma Origins. Was it Gamma Origins 1? Do you remember? I think we talked about it.
I think it even says in here. Yeah, Gamma Origins 1. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I will point out though that most of these tournament modules and all these other modules were written before Unearthed Arcana. So when we played, I didn't want to use Unearthed Arcana either. I think we only used the original 3 books, right? I mean, I think we had Fiend Party, but we didn't use it.
But that's what he says about this. It's a lot of updating's needed because a lot of the monsters are wrong compared to 2nd edition because they're different stats in 2nd edition compared to 1st.
Yeah.
He said that especially for the giants in the what is it, the Giant series?
Against the Giant series.
He said they would just destroy them because the Giants are way more powerful. You'd have to soup up your characters because if you're playing with like real giant stats, they destroy them. And he also says you have to appreciate the style of modules back then. They were a lot more simple. They were a lot more rough. So you'd have to really understand it. So it takes people like us who'd want to, like we did as nostalgia, but for them, they want to use, I have all these old modules, let me use them in 2nd edition. You have to be able to change them enough to be up to the current style of play in 2nd edition, or just appreciate that they're old. So, because at this point,
definitely like to try Expedition and Barrier Peaks now again.
Because they were at this point they would have been 10 years old. Like that's quite a ways in at the time. Like that's so.
Then he says he said like Gary Gygax and the older module writers, and this is a part that stuck with me because of just playing Tomb of Horrors, but also other things. That they were fans of traps and magical items or magic magic protections that were written that say this works like this and it doesn't work if you do this, but all your spell knowledge and everything after that, the spells don't work the same way. Things should work that don't, but it says in the module this works this way, and it defies the 10 years since. But that's what they wrote, that trap. This trap works X. This spell protection works Y.
Why can't I dispel magic on this trap? Like,
why can't I do this? Yeah. And I was like, yeah, that's.
And I will say, Tomb of Horrors has got plenty of one where the text says dispel magic does not dispel this trap.
There's so many ways that normally you get away around a magic trap or stop a magic trap from hurting you. Tomb of Horrors is like, screw you. You're going to get hit by this trap if you no matter what. You can't stop it.
If you just don't do it right. I mean,
wow, it's a lot of like spurious reasoning in that game.
That's sinking.
You're sinking into the chair. No, it's a fun little. It was very short, but it was a fun little thing just to rethink how you use old modules, and I liked it too. Which is good.
Exactly.
I'm getting down to just one more article, I think, at this point.
Okay, give it to us. What's the dealio?
We're going to go to page 50. Page 50. It's at the bottom of page 50. It starts, it's Mech Warrior, the video game is released.
I knew you were going to get that one.
It's he gives it 5 stars. It's a fun little game.
The graphics on the next page of 51.
Yeah, awesome. What are you talking about? It kind of looks like Minecraft.
Colored in vectors. That's the greatest thing ever.
I like how they were like, you have to have colored computer for this. I'm like, really? You do? I guess to see the damage on your mech, you'd have to have colors. I love this game.
They look like shambling Cybertrucks just walking around, those blue guys. Polygon.
We played this on the Commodore.
I'm trying to see who actually reviewed it. It doesn't actually say who reviewed it, but they whatever it was, they loved it because they just go into super detail. Most of this article is just them describing their campaign. I was like, okay, we get it. You liked the campaign. It was fun times, but I've talked about it many times about this game, that it used to be, it was so complex for us back then that one person would have to move and the other person was the gunner, because we couldn't figure out how to use the keyboard all at once, which is hilarious nowadays because everybody knows how to use the keyboard. WASD. So
I don't know if it's, hey, this is the first time you're required to do that with the hand-eye coordination, or if the first game designers didn't figure out, oh, well, if you put, everyone now W-A.
Yeah, I don't think it was WASD back then. I think
it
was just arrows.
This is all arrow keys.
Yeah.
Arrow keys.
So it could be a nice combination of both, where we as players weren't accustomed to this newfangled control system, and maybe it was a prototype. Like
it was
a zygote of an idea of how you would now design movement.
Well, that's what in this review he describes all these things that now is just like, that's just how games are made. Like, we're so used to first person shooters and stuff like this. The way they describe everything, it's so new and newfangled. How to use it, it's like, yeah, we've had quite a few Mech Warrior games after this, and a lot of other games that are very similar.
The requirements for this thing just make me giggle when I first read this article. You need an 8 megahertz chip, 512K RAM, and you need a color monitor.
Yep. It supports EGA and VGA.
Yeah, and then but your optional support is the AdLib soundboard or the Roland MI.
I remember AdLib soundboards.
I did. I had the AdLib and I had the Roland at one point.
I remember I had the AdLib. A joystick is optional.
Yeah, when I moved to MIDI recording is when I got the Roland.
Oh yeah, that's a much higher quality. Yeah, $50 though. $50 back then. That's not cheap. I guess it's probably the $90 we pay for AAA games nowadays. So. Yeah. Fun game, very historic game for Mech Warrior. Obviously, this is also where Activision, which eventually gets taken over by Microsoft, steals the Mech Warrior name from BattleTech, and it's 2 separate entities now because of this game right here. So, interesting history, and it's fun to see, and it's fun to look back on those graphics because I remember those hit maps on the side and the overhead map in the middle. That's another thing he says. The real estate for actual gameplay is actually like half the screen because you have so much stuff on the bottom, which is probably helped with the.
It looks like a cockpit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But that's part of the immersion.
Well, the mini map was huge. If you look at it, it's just huge. It's a third of the bottom.
Yeah, it's great. And then your weapons on the side with your ammo and stuff. It's such a. Looking at it, I'm like, yes, I remember this so vividly.
If someone says you can't hear a picture, when I saw this picture, I was like, oh yeah, no, I remember some of the sounds.
The laser walking, sounds, yeah, or the walking.
And I remember the sounds of the not the lasers, but the
autocannons and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Or the missiles launching, yeah, for sure. All that stuff, classic MIDI sounds. So that was just a little walk down nostalgia lane there with Mech Warrior. I think that was my last article, though.
Okay, and that was I don't have a second because we, as discussed earlier, we all kind of jumped on. We all treated that first one like a.
Don't go there.
Don't go there. Instead of going there, let's go to page 92.
92.
So,
yes. I was amazed you didn't mention this already. It's the Ecology Griffon.
This is. I want to start off by saying this is probably the best ecology picture to date.
I'm pretty sure that's a picture of our local high school. It's called the Griffins, and I'm pretty sure that's the picture they use for the Griffins. So,
I mean, whoever wrote this article, and I can't read the guy's name there. I didn't zoom into it.
Pendragon.
Christopher Kendrick.
No, the guy who drew the picture.
Oh, drew the picture.
Pendragon.
Pendragon, yeah.
Yeah.
It's written on the page 91 down bottom left hand corner.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
okay.
right, it's right there. Pendragon something at the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a
Esquire,
nice
I think.
full color picture of a griffin attacking some poor horsemen.
Yeah. So this supposedly was taken from a lecture, the way it's written in the format, but it wasn't just a very good story. Basically, it read like a biology book. It gave you the anatomy and just gave you the stats. Like
It wasn't as
told
good as the
you.
regular ecologies.
No, it wasn't. Yeah, it didn't really tell a story. It was more just like, here are the facts. It was like watching PBS.
It didn't have Elminster weaving a tale.
Or
Yeah.
or someone, even the ones that weren't written by Ed Greenwood, longtime listener, longtime friend of the show. Like I said, it read like a biology book or a PBS special. But it will say that, he leads out to say that circulation of the griffins are a result of magical experimentation gone wrong. But then I guess there's scholars or there's records that or predate that thing. If you don't know what a griffin looks like, it looks like a lion with taloned forelimbs and wings of an eagle head.
It looks like a lion got shoved up an eagle's butt. That's what it looks like.
Yeah. The griffins lack information, but because their eyesights are so sharp like an eagle's, they can see in the dark, clearly in the dark. And their wingspan is about 25 feet across, which is pretty
Jesus. Yeah.
That is very big.
and they have a heightened sense of hearing as well as the sharp vision. So not only can they see you from far away, they can hear you from far away. And fun fact: griffins love horse meat. That's their preferred choice of meat. They do talk about how you can get a griffin egg and then you can bond with them, but you have to be really nice to them, or they will.
Siegfried and Roy you?
Yeah, Siegfried and Roy, or just one day just never come back.
Oh, just leave.
So they should just sort of basically it really comes down to just make sure your griffin's always well fed and he'll stick around. And they're also very hard to control when they're hungry.
It'd be hard to clean up afterwards. They wouldn't be an indoor pet.
No.
No, I mean you can. There is. It says there are stories of if you injure a griffin, or if you save an injured griffin or risk from a trap, it could kind of be like show a little gratitude and kind of stick around and become your friend, but not necessarily your pet.
Can you ride them?
Yes, you can, but they're very hard to control. And they say don't use horse leather saddles because you might lose a saddle because they might eat it.
It's just a little.
What about leather armor?
Yeah.
It's a,
They don't use any
croutons,
barding. They say, there's a whole bunch of things on using them as mounts and everything. And there's they don't use any bardings. You can't put any barding on them because they don't like it.
Interesting.
And it says they mount behind the wings.
yeah, I've always wondered about that because I have a griffin somewhere, miniature. I can't remember where I put him. He's probably up in my all my King's War stuff, but yeah,
I think it's
always
behind that one decanter you've got there. You have two decanters, but that one, yes, that
The big
yes,
one
sir.
on your
Yes,
big one on your right.
Yeah, the one that
I thought it was over there actually, but it's I think it's up there, way up there. But yeah, it's always interesting where you put the guy on a griffin. Is it by his head or is it behind the wings? Yeah.
Yeah, they say mount behind the wings.
Yeah. Right between the wings, like
Oh, and they also said another way to get the griffin to buck you mid-air is to put a bridle on it. They don't like any kind of control on their face. So you have to learn to control a griffin when you fly with command words.
It sounds like a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
Yeah.
But you get a flying mount.
I think World of Warcraft was a bunch of crap. They made it look like it was easy.
It's too easy, yep, for sure.
Well, that was a hot take. Coming after World of Warcraft is taking stray bullets out here, out on the streets.
Like you could, like that game. All that game taught me is that you could have a horde of Griffon Riders and no repercussions.
I always rode a Griffon. It was my mount of choice.
I made a gnome once. Okay. Well, that's it for articles then.
For sure.
So how about Rob? Why don't you go to our first ad?
I have 3 ads.
I didn't ask you that.
I have 2 in case you were.
No, I didn't ask you that either. We traditionally we do 1 ad each. Rob, what's your ad?
These are the new
It's actually,
traditions.
I wrote down 84, but it's actually 83. And it's chill. It's here. But my question is it a porn game? Because this ad is.
I thought you guys played Chill.
We do play. I do have chill. But my point is, look at this ad. It doesn't scream horror. It screams jizz. That's what it screams.
Yeah.
It screams the CSI scene.
Yeah. We get some blacklight on this ad.
Jackson Pollock in here.
Yeah.
The one Rob has like a kind of a clown-like face.
I think that's the actual cover. Yeah.
Would it be less Las Vegas-y if it was red?
Yeah, that's the point. It's why is it white on black? It should be like you say red. If it looked like blood, I'd be like, oh, that's cool. But no, they just put like it's like someone literally. It says, "Look out, chill is here."
Oh God!
Oh God! You're in the blast zone. That's my only point to this chill ads.
Look out, chill is coming.
Yeah, that's true. Good point. Some copywriter got away with that. So Mayfair, what the hell were you thinking?
They were thinking the young halcyon days where you could just put something out and 3 old grognards wouldn't start mocking it, be pervs about it.
40 years later.
Yeah, 40 years later, mocking their
graphic design,
their vision.
Anyways, that was my first ad.
Okay, I guess it's my turn next. We're gonna go to page 24, please.
No, that was not one of mine. Oh, this is a famous one.
It's not a myth. Well, yes, it is. It's not mything, sort of. It's finally here. The game you've been waiting for. Myth Fortunes. And then, as if the puns have not come fast and furious enough, don't myth it. Now say that and groan, because it is groan worthy, and then look at the face of their mascot there, the shit-eating grin on that goblin's face. He's the one who just said, "Don't myth it."
Don't myth it.
Precocious little rascal.
It's finally here.
I don't know what it is, but whatever tomfoolery and hijinks are afoot with that guy's.
It's guess who the artist behind this game is?
Dragonworth guy.
No, it's Phil Folio. It's based on a book series. I don't know if you guys ever heard of this book series, The Myth Fortune. It's like a punny kind of thing. Reminds me of who did those Ringworld and all those ones. I think are the same idea. No, it wasn't Ringworld. Who's the other one who does all the funny books?
Harry Pratchett.
Yes, it's the same kind of feel as this series. I think I read a few of these books, so it is based on a book series. But it's some kind of board game. So
sort of a fool's company situation.
Yes, that's in. I don't know if it's in this issue, but in one of them they have the review for that book. There's yeah. I think puns were high. 90s were the time of puns. So late 80s, early 90s, it's punny.
Man, this guy right there, that grin, shamelessly, he's the one who said that.
But that's Robert Lynn Asprin is the author of the books, so that's why it's trademark from that person.
That guy says thanks for the hospitality.
Yes, for sure. It's the side eye, I think, that really sells it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that was my ad.
There you go. It's Mayfair Games. We're both of our ads are Mayfair Games.
Well, now we've set a precedent, so
Pat,
you better follow
choose
up
the
with
Mayfair
the Mayfair
game.
game.
Yep.
There better be Star Wars. It better be.
Yeah.
Got bad news.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Go on page 112.
112.
Oh, that's deep. That's deep in the bowels.
It's not one of mine either. I still got 2 other ads.
It's the Draconomicon.
What's a Draconomicon, you may
This
ask?
is a second edition rulebook source book for Forgotten Realms. And this, if you talk to people or anyone, they say if you do Forgotten Realms, this is a must-have source book because it's just a load of dragons, new dragons, old dragons, a bunch of new spells for dragons. It's a way to flesh out your dragons in your world in the Forgotten Realms that are just regular stat dragons. As someone would call them, they're just not regular walls of hit points. Just
They have personalities.
Yeah. And not only does it have a load of dragon information, it also gives you the Dragon Hunter source book, so you could kind of do a dragon hunt if you wanted to.
Yeah. So I never saw this one. Did you have this one?
Yeah, this is one of my. Yeah, I do. It's one of my favorite Forgotten Realms books, source books for Forgotten Realms. So, and then I saw that it was coming out now, and here it is.
Draconomicon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd never even heard of this one, so it's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. No frame of reference. Don't even.
And I think if I remember right, it gives you 3 new dragons. Steel.
Oh, is that where those come from?
Oh, yeah, and I can't remember the other 2. I just remember Steel because I liked Steel.
Yeah.
Not the Shaq movie, but the dragon.
Steel,
Obsidian,
Air, and Heart, I believe.
That's
and
Captain
when they
Planet.
got together, oh, that's right.
That's Captain Planet. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was Fifth Element. She was the fifth element all along.
No.
Love.
All right.
That movie is very old, and I saw it in the theaters, and
I saw it on a Betamax.
And I'm pretty sure if we could keep the puckerisms down, if I could stomach the Ruby Rod's let's just say unsubtle performance, I think it would still hold up, but I haven't seen it in a long time.
It's Luc Besson. That's why he's a great director.
He's a fantastic director.
He sounds very Montreal-esque.
Well, he was French, but he was cheating on his wife, who played the opera singer, with Mila Jovanovic in the movie. So while they were filming, like
dirty
French people. Oh, those Frenchmen.
French.
Why are we talking about Fifth Element, by the way?
I don't know.
Who's
I think you brought it up.
We're gonna go page. I'm amazed nobody did this one. It's page 3. Is that your other ad? Oh, not page 3. Yeah, it is page 3. It's because
I got one more.
This is all about the new AD&D stuff. But look at that Legends and Lore cover. That is not the real cover of Legends and Lore. I was like, what the hell is that? And then I looked at the real cover. The real cover is awesome. This is like a poor man's imitation of the real color cover.
Maybe this is like one of those things. Remember, long-time listener, long-time friend Caldwell explained to us that sometimes they get asked to do a concept cover, and that's the one they accidentally use. Maybe this was the concept cover before they went with the other one.
The real one, it's a lot more second edition, where it's fully colored, and this looks a lot more like first. Yeah. Not even this looks like D&D cover, not even AD&D cover. So
I will say that when I would go visit my grandmother in San Francisco for the summer, when my dad would send me out there, I would find my way to the mall, and Walden Books was one of the places I would hang out for a while to waste a couple times just scanning through things.
Oh yeah, Walden Books was in our American Mall too, in Buffalo, so we go to Walden Books all the time too.
Well, and for legal reasons, we cannot say that we know for a fact that Clyde Caldwell is a longtime listener. We've talked to him, we've corresponded. But legally,
Ed Greenwin, though, long-time listener.
Yes, that's factual. Long-time listener, friend of the show, the unofficial 4th member. So let's just keep that.
If he wasn't so busy, he would be here.
Yes,
but he's so busy.
That's right. Okay, well then that's got to be the end of the ads now.
Pat, do you have another one?
No, I do actually.
I do too. Okay. Jack, do you have another ad?
65.
Torg. Look at that.
Now, we've talked about Torg.
Oh, it's West End Games, this one. I thought it was going to be Mayfair. We were on Star Trek.
I would have went first.
Yeah.
So this ad makes me want to play Torg now.
Because you're like, what the hell is going on?
When I would see ads for Torg, I never wanted to play. So
the art is great in this game. Like every picture we've seen from this game has been great art.
Yeah, and like I'm looking at it, and Torg means multiple genre, Torg means this, Torg means that, and I'm like, yes, it does. We should be playing it. Why have I never played this game?
The one word is riffs. Riffs ruin Torg. I think Torg's a better game. It's the beta of the VHS wars.
Yeah, but I'm saying, so
came out first, much better.
We're talking 40 years, of seeing Torg in the ads, seeing Torg on the shelves, and never wanted to play it. But now seeing the last ad, and I see this ad from last month's magazine, and I'm like, no, I want to play Torg. What I don't understand what it was back then that didn't capture me.
Yeah,
that is capturing me.
I agree. Like, it looks like this game should be like, wow, this looks awesome. It sounds awesome. Everything looks awesome. Why did not succeed?
Yeah, like, why don't I have this game?
Yeah. And why has nobody ever played it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's Torg means cyberpunk, primitive, high-tech fantasy, horror, and pulp adventure. What more do you need?
Yeah. So that's the reason why I bring it up now, because all of a sudden...
And it's an interactive campaign.
Yeah. I'm like, why did this never catch my attention 40 years ago? But now I'm like, oh, what am I missing out? Is it FOMO? Is it a little FOMO I got going on? Or just...
Even has a drama deck, which is like a very modern thing to have. Like, I think this might be cutting edge. Maybe it's just ahead of its time.
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was so avant-garde that I was like, ew. Dark chocolate.
But now you love dark chocolate.
Yeah, I do.
It does look cool. What a great... Like, the art is so good. It doesn't say who did it, but man, that's good art.
I like the Orion Harry Mudd picture.
Yeah.
It looks like that's Orion Harry Mudd.
And it's so well done. It hurts. It's so good.
Yeah.
Oh, well. We'll never know.
All right. We'll never know.
My last ad is 116 because 116. I'm gonna try to type that again.
Yeah, left this one for you
because this was the very first role playing supplement thing I ever bought in my life. Was this box set? I worked at a kids camp in the summer, and when I had to walk home to the bus station, I walked right past a game store, and I'd go in, and I was a big X-Men fan, and I saw this, and I was like, ooh, it's a game. Not knowing I needed Marvel Superheroes to play this game, because it's a box set, for the X-Men special. And it has, like, maps and stuff. I think, if I'm not mistaken, one of the maps is, like, literally on my shelf beside me. I don't know where the box set is. I lost that many years ago. But I had the map.
Like how they incorporated the 80s big hair on the two, on Storm and Cyclops.
Oh, I was thinking on Banshee's hair. Look at that. Look at Banshee's.
Is that Banshee? I was going to ask.
Yes.
I don't remember Banshee having the Ozzy Osbourne connectors underneath his arms.
Yeah, that's how he flew with his sound.
All right. I did have a question for you, and I knew you were going to get this. I was waiting.
Jubilee.
No, I know who's Jubilee. I know everyone, but the guy in the back.
That's Forge.
Forge.
How dare
Forge? You? How dare you?
How dare you?
I don't remember Forge looking like that.
Oh yeah, he's Native American, and he always had a mullet. Yeah, I think Psylocke's hair is something else there. That's
oh wait, that's DC.
And
racist.
She's awfully Caucasian in that picture.
Actually, she looks a lot like Olivia Munn.
She does. I mean, I think Olivia Munn was a good cast for that. They just gave her such a
terrible
crappy movie.
Yeah.
Anyways, this box set was fun. It had a lot of maps. It had a lot of books, and I poured over it, not knowing it wasn't a game. Until then, I was like, oh, now I got to buy the Marvel Superheroes game, which I did buy eventually. And
so you went backwards.
Yeah, but because I didn't know any better, because I was a little kid. I was 14, I think, when I bought this. So there you
Just
go.
a wee small boy.
Before it was the summer before I started high school, so I was very excited. But at the time, big X-Men fan, and so anything with X-Men on it, I was like, oh, I must own this, not knowing what I was buying. So, anyways, that was my last ad. Anybody else got any more?
This is when I still like Wolverine.
How dare you? He's a national treasure.
We got to wrap this up. Pat is starting.
He's saying things that he'll never be able to take back.
Just to hurt. He's being hurtful.
You get overplayed. I'm just sorry.
So okay. Well, that sounds like that's the end of 161. I think we did a good job. We've kept it
a long one.
A brisk pace. 15
brisk
minutes.
an hour.
We're
We kept it at a brisket
all
pace.
I asked is that we could do this without too much of tomfoolery and hijinks, and we've accomplished that. This was we trimmed the fat on this one.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
So
Why are
Like a
Pat's
lean
or
brisket.
why are Jack's episodes always the longest, Pat? That's my question.
Because he fights the flow with his rule breaking.
with my rule breaking, no, my enforcement of the law. Okay,
He is the law.
Let's wrap this up. I want to thank you all for coming. I don't know. Rob tells me to do this all the time. I don't know what that means. And then, yeah, we can see you back next week. We do this on a weekly basis. If this is your first time, go on back.
This is your jam.
Yeah.
And please let us know if we called you dead and you're not.
And rest in peace to those who are dead.
Yes.
And please let me know if I called you daddy.
Oof. Jack, you called
Daddy. Yeah. Well, let's just leave now. It's awkward.
Yeah, it's awkward now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.